conocer sobre la Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. Desde Italia nos acompaña Margherita Pasquini, quien es la coordinadora de estudios en el extranjero de esta universidad. La UNICATT, como es su acrónimo, es una de las universidades aliadas en las que ustedes pueden realizar sus experiencias en el extranjero. En esta oportunidad ustedes pueden tomar sus cursos no solamente en inglés, sino también si tienen algún conocimiento del idioma y tienen el nivel, también lo pueden hacer en italiano. Esta charla la vamos a estar realizando en inglés, pero nuestra invitada, como ya les comento, también habla español, así que si ustedes luego quieren hacer sus preguntas en español, se sienten un poco más cómodos, pues no, en confianza pueden escribir sus preguntas en español también. Así que les invito a que aprovechen este espacio, porque estamos un poco desde la virtualidad, pero tenemos la oportunidad de tener experiencias interculturales e internacionales desde este espacio. Realicen o no su intercambio en Italia, es una excelente manera de conocer el país, de conocer la universidad, así que les invito a que, además de dejarse cautivar por este programa, también tengan la oportunidad de abrir esa perspectiva intercultural que tenemos, así que aprendan del país, conozcan sobre la universidad y no dejen de enviar sus preguntas a través del chat, o al finalizar esta presentación ustedes pueden abrir el micrófono y hacer sus preguntas directamente. Así que sin más preámbulos les quiero ceder el espacio a Margarita. Ciao Margarita, muchas gracias por estar acá y nada, te cedo el espacio. We are really happy to have you here and for accepting our invitation. And we're looking forward to hearing more about Italy and Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much, Anita and Laurie, for having me here today. It's a real pleasure, and it's been really nice hearing all the students' voices. I think it really gave me an idea of at what stage you are, and it's good to hear that they're also freshman students, because it's always good to have students like starting to plan very early in the process, and taking the time to kind of plan ahead of time. That's great. So my idea, and I hope you agree on that, is to keep the presentation kind of short and sweet, and then I would like the session to be as interactive as possible. So I don't want to be like the one speaking for 45 minutes. I'll try to go through the things that you kind of need to know about the university. So I have a lot of slides, but I will kind of like run through some of them, and then at the end we'll have a conversation, so I can actually kind of dive deep into some specific topics with you based on what you want to hear more. Okay, so let me share the screen very quickly with you. Just give me a second. There. Okay. Yanita, would you please allow me to share my screen?
Yes, just did.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
There I go. Please let me know if you can see it. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you. So, Università Cattolica. Well, first of all, I think we have something in common, right? The name of the university. So it's a great starting point, I would say. So, Università Cattolica is the largest private Catholic university in Europe. We have 4 different campuses spread across the country. This year, 2021, we're celebrating 100 years of the history of our university. The university was founded in 1921. And as you can see, this is the main campus. It was the main building was an ancient monastery belonging to the medieval period towards the Renaissance. And so it's a very, very, very beautiful monastery. You'll be stunned whenever I hope you had the chance to see it. And it's been designed by Bramante, who was one of the most prominent and important architects of our time. So I must say it's pretty amazing to be there. So I know you're browsing opportunities, and so I would like to give you some reasons why Italy might be a good destination for you. So we're certainly famous for food, wine, made in Italy, and also the healthcare system. Italy is one of I think it's the 2nd country for longevity in the world. So if I recall correctly, so it's I would say it's a kind of a good record, so it's a good thing to say. And of course, food and wine is not just about kind of la dolce vita or living like a good life, but it's also about kind of a solid tradition and a very high quality products that we deliver, not just locally, but of course, like around the world. And of course, made in Italy. I'm sure you're familiar with this little horse, the Cavallino Ferrari, but I'm sure you're also familiar with many other brands that Italy has. And then cultural heritage. These are some of the cities that you might have, seen at least, in movies or in postcards or videos or whatever. I don't know. Like, I was curious to ask, how many of you have already been to Italy? Nobody? Okay. Okay. Well, then I'll talk about it a little bit more. So as you can see, right up corner, there's Milan. It's kind of the iconic cathedral. We call it the Duomo. And I don't know if you know it, but Italy is the country #1 for cultural heritage in the world. And this is from the UNESCO website, so it's a big thing. We're pretty proud of our cultural aspects. Let me see how I can move on this slide. Okay, there we go. And then we have 4 different campuses, 3 in the northern part of Italy and 1 in the central southern part of Italy, in Rome, our capital. If you decide to come, you will be studying with us in Milan. Milan is our main campus. Just to give you an idea, Cattolica has about 40,000 students, so it's a very big university. And Milan is its largest campus. We have about 25, 28. Depending on how you see numbers, students enrolled on our campus. And so I'll be talking in a little while about Milan. I am a bit biased about the city, so I hope you don't mind. I just want to share with you this quick video about the city and about the university. Can you hear the audio? Okay, so I hope it was not too long, but it was a video about the campus and the city, so you could kind of see both aspects of what the experience is about. Cattolica is in the heart of the city. You can basically walk everywhere. This is kind of a main difference, kind of a major difference for in terms of experience for people coming from, especially outside Europe, because we walk everywhere and we walk a lot and we use a lot public transportation. And so I know many students are not used to that, but I know after a while they get used and they get used to it and they love it. So you're not supposed to be driving in the city that much. So I generally discourage students from even thinking about driving. Because we have we're famous for not being particularly we drive differently, let's put it this way. And then second, because you don't really need it. So public transportation is safe, and Milan is very famous also for shared mobility. So you'll be able to use shared bikes, shared cars, just in case you want it, share scooters and mopeds as well. So that could be a way to get to know the city better. So Milan is I would say the capital of the country. I know Rome is the historical capital, is the real capital. Milan is the de facto capital, as the capital of the business. It's the financial capital. It's kind of the engine of the economy. And over the past 10 years, it's kind of imposed itself as a kind of model for other cities to follow because of the political guidelines, because of it's been kind of a spring for the city in the past 10 years. We hosted a huge event in 2015, the Expo, and we had more than 20 million visitors in 6 months. So can you imagine what kind of impact this has had on the city in terms of public transportation services, cultural activities? So the city has grown tremendously. And what I really like is that it has a space and a corner for everyone. So no matter what kind of background you have, no matter what type of person you are, no matter what kind of interests you might have, you have a space in Milan. So this is something I really like. It's a very international city. It's a welcoming city. And it's kind of the only, I would say, real international and European city in Italy. And it has, what I really like about the city is that it has its tradition, but it also looks at the future. So it's not just about cultural heritage, which most of the cities in Italy are about, but it's a cultural city where you actually live and breathe culture. So this is what makes Milan unique. And you can see it from here. I mean, even from the pictures. I mean, you've seen probably beautiful, the Duomo, the iconic cathedral, but you also have this green building that won a lot of prizes a few years ago for being the best green skyscraper in the world. So, and you'd be amazed when you see it. And it has inspired a lot of other buildings after that. So it's an interesting city to live. And it's not as a big city because it's just 1.5 million residents. But during the day, it goes up to almost 5 million because of all the commuters. So I tend to compare, if I have to give you an example, like, I don't know, from the US, for example, I would think of New York and New Jersey kind of thing. And it has kind of the New York or big city spirit, but without the size of it. So you can basically walk everywhere. So it's a walkable city. So it's a human city. Oops, sorry. And then something about Cattolica. Cattolica is a private university, is a renowned university. It's pretty famous. And domestically is one of those universities that kind of guarantee you like that you will get a job once you get a degree. So like the connection we have with companies in the country is very strong, and the name and the reputation of the university is really strong as well. What I really want to emphasize of this slide is the tailored services for international students. We have a team of 5 people dedicated to international students who, like my colleagues, will really like take your hands like from day one to like your departure. They're there to support you. They understand what you're going through, and they're not just there for academic matters, but well beyond that. So I think that's really important. This is some numbers about the university. We have 12 schools, blah, 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 but I don't want to, spend much time on this. They're just numbers. You can see them online. I mean, and then another thing that I want to mention is that Cattolica is #1 in Italy for employer-student connection. That is something I was mentioning earlier. But why does this matter to you as exchange students? It's because we have a beautiful internship program. And so if you want, if your university allows you to take an internship component while you're abroad, then you might want to consider that Cattolica has really strong connections with companies, with local companies, and will kind of provide you with a great working experience in that regard. So I think if you're able to, like, I would highly encourage you to consider this. And then when it comes to academics, we have 2 different tracks that you might want to consider. One is the international curriculum, and one is the university academic curriculum. So the international curriculum has been designed for international students. So we are now about almost 40 courses actually offered every semester. All the courses I'll be presenting now are, of course, taught in English, because I'm not expecting you to speak Italian. But then, of course, if you speak Italian, this opens up many more opportunities, because, of course, you'll be entering the university as our domestic students would. And so, of course, courses there are just endless. But let's focus for the moment on English taught courses. So the international curriculum has about 40 courses offered every semester. Classes are kind of small, they're very interactive, and you'll be in class with students from basically every corner of the world. So we have more than 100 nationalities represented every semester. Just to give you an idea, there is no one country that kind of takes over. We don't have a predominant country in terms of like participation, I would say. And this is great, because this means that you can really, together with getting to know the academic content of the courses, you will also develop cross-cultural competencies. And this is the added value of studying abroad. So it's not just about the academic content, which is of course crucial, paramount, fundamental, but you also have on top of this, the connection with your classmates who come from like different countries. It might sound banal, but it's not. That's really the essence of like the experience. And we have about, say 450, 500 international students per semester. So we're talking about big numbers. So there's no chance you be in class just with people from your home institution or say, you know, or people like you. Like it's really an experience, like an experience that gives you, you know, a view on diversity, I would say. So that's nice. And these are the academic areas that you can consider: business economics, fashion and design, international relations, Italian culture and cultural studies, sociology, psychology, and law. And you don't need to stick to one track. I mean, you can mix and match all the courses that you want, as long as, of course, your academic coordinator allows you to do that and pre-approve the courses. And then we have the university academic curriculum. So we have an entire degree studying English at Cattolica. And so you can join those courses and those programs and pick and choose courses from our degree studying English. And you'll be in class with, in this case, with domestic students who decide to study in English. So you'll be in class with either Italian or international students, but studying there for the entire degree. And so it's a kind of a different experience in terms of, it's a cultural different experience for two reasons. A, because of the classmates you have, most of them will be Italian, and B, because of the academic approach and the methodology we use. This is a very traditional university. Cattolica is a very traditional university. You need to keep in mind that. And so our approach is really the traditional one. So you have one professor speaking in front of a kind of a large group of students. There won't be much interaction. Attendance won't be mandatory, but you're supposed to develop a very high level of independence in terms of studying, and then you need to be prepared for the final exam, which be 99% of the cases oral. So I'm just saying this because I know it's very different from what you're used to, and so I want you to, you know, to set the expectations in the right way. So when you, and I don't want to discourage you from taking those courses. Of course, I actually. On the contrary, I really would like you to take those courses as well as the others, but just keep in mind that the two are very different experiences. So if you can mix and match, that'd be perfect. And then, of course, we have Italian top programs, but I know we have one student studying Italian, so she might be interested in knowing more about it later in the Q&A. If you're not proficient in Italian, but you still want to learn a little bit of Italian, which I think could be the case, especially because I guess most of you are Spanish speakers. If it's not the first language, it might be the second, but so Spanish and Italian are very similar. So I think you can give it a try, and you'll easily be able to add another language at the end of the semester in your resume. And so don't miss out on this opportunity, because it's just one language course and then you can build on that during the semester. And honestly, if you look at this long term and you imagine yourself in a job interview, like an HR manager will ask you, well, you studied abroad in Italy, like, did you learn a bit of Italian? Then if you say no, it tells something about you. So that's my, you know, that'd be my suggestion. And we have courses at any level. So from absolute beginners to very proficient students, because we have bilingual students taking those courses as well. So I'm sure you can find your level easily. Then we have this language assistant program. It's kind of it's a kind of a way to get to know the community slightly better, I would say, to get deeper into the local culture. So if you're interested in doing this experience, it's a kind of a service learning, if you want, or, you know, community engagement, I would say. It doesn't have to be for credits. So you'll be asked to support a language professor in high school and to teach high school students either Spanish or English. I mean, whatever. I think for you guys, it's kind of the same. So I would say you can pick the language you prefer and then, you know, be a co-professor, co-teacher in a class. And this gives you like a great perspective on, on the local culture and the Italian culture, because you be in class with local students, but on the other side, like being a professor. And I think there's nothing more fascinating than being in school, to get to know how the culture and the system works in that country. So just if you want to consider some extra, co-curricular activities for your semester, this could be a good one. And then we also have a study abroad, say career readiness course that we offer before the semester. It's kind of a crash course before you actually start your academic track. And it makes you kind of think of which are the values of your study abroad experience, because we want, so you're investing time, you're investing money, you're going far from home. So we want this experience to be profitable 100%. So we want you to think about it as an investment. So how you can make yourself more remarkable through your study abroad experience, because at some point you will need to kind of elaborate on what your semester was about, right? At some point. And so we want to give you some tools to do that. And it's a very cool course, honestly. So, and then of course, as mentioned, we have internship programs part-time during the semester or after the semester. And we also have summer and winter program available in case you're not able to, to spend an entire semester abroad. It's not something we've really discussed much with the university, so I'm just going very quickly through this pages. But if you need more information, I'm happy to just spend some more words afterwards. And then housing, I know it's a big part of your planning when you go abroad. We have an internal provider that works very closely with us, and they can actually, you will receive an email from them after you apply, and they will share with you all the options available. And then you can decide to apply through the provider or to apply independently. We'll share a list of resources available that you can check out yourself. If you prefer to find it autonomously, it's totally fine. My only recommendation is not to pay deposits to websites. I know it sounds like obvious, but just do not pay deposits on website you're not familiar with, or just do not book the entire semester housing before you actually get there, because unless you really know the provider well, because they can sell you anything if you don't know where the department is located, if you don't know if you don't know the tricks of the game. So just make sure you are on the safe side of the thing. Just be aware of this, and just make sure that you find an apartment close to any metro stop. I would say as long as you're close to a metro stop, you're fine. And then what else? Yeah, I would close off with an orientation event. We have 2 orientation events, depending on when you decide to arrive. We have an orientation event for those of you taking the Italian language course that happens before the semester starts, and then a second orientation event for those of you who decided not to join the kind of crash course at the beginning of the semester. But the two orientation sessions are identical, so you don't need to worry about which one you pick. We have icebreaking activities, a welcome lunch, a campus tour, and most importantly, we get you in touch with our local students and local associations, which will make a big difference for during your semester. We also have a buddy program that you might want to sign up for, because you'll be paired with a Cattolica student who has been abroad already, so they kind of know what kind of challenges you might face when abroad, and so they'll try to help you with that, the kind of adjustment phase, and to take you out at night, in the afternoon, in your free time, organize activities during the weekend. It's kind of a nice thing to have. I mean, we cannot guarantee you become best friends, of course, but it's at least we can try. And then this very last slide is, I think it applies to every destination, to every study abroad experience. So no matter where you go, so it's not just about Cattolica, of course, no matter where you go, these are kind of the advantages of going abroad. So you will develop communication skills, you'll be learning a new language, you will have a better knowledge about other cultures, you develop problem solving, working in different contexts, and intercultural competencies. These soft skills, if you check out the the word forum for how it's called, the business word forum, if you see the list of like skills required, most of the soft skills you develop during your semester or academic year abroad are the skills that are required by future employers. So just keep that in mind when you decide or not decide to study abroad. That's a kind of a personal judgment, no matter where you go. Okay, so this is kind of a sum up of the things I've already said. So I don't need to, so I can stop here. And then I'm super happy to take all the questions you have. I know it's been quick and with a lot of information. So if you're lost, it's totally fine. Just feel free to ask all the questions you want.
Thanks a lot, Margarita. It was really interesting. Thank you for taking us from Italy to university. So thank you so much for that information. And we already have a question from Cielo. Cielo, feel free to open your mic.
Thanks. Thank you for the presentation as well. I wanted to ask about the professor-student ratio, and if you could elaborate on the art and industry of narration program.
Okay, so the students and professor ratio really depends on if we're talking about you know, the international curriculum courses or the traditional courses. So the international curriculum courses, I would say classes are 25 students, like an average of 25 students. For the university academic programs, I would need to double check because this is an information we generally don't have as study abroad office, but I'm happy to check it for you and to kind of to get back to you. Maybe if you want to leave your email address, I can check that and let you know. It really depends because the way courses and lectures are structured traditionally at Cattolica, I mean, in the European context, I would say in traditional European universities, is really different. So as I was saying, it's just more one professor speaking and kind of the audience listening. There is no much interaction in that regard. So versus international curriculum courses, they're designed keeping in mind that international students have a different model, live a different say learning experience. So we try to redesign courses that would make international students feel like really comfortable in that sense. So I hope I kind of responded to that. And then I'm happy to like check. I'm sure this information is somewhere. I just need to.
It's okay with that explanation. You answered my question, don't worry. But I also wanted to know about the art and industry of narration program, whether that's related to creative writing.
So this is so you're considering for a semester, right? Not as a program.
Exactly, like an exchange program.
Yeah. So it really depends on which courses you want to take. So that's I'm not sure. Like you mean because the entire structure of it's just a degree. So and then it really depends on the courses you take. Because like we don't have students coming for just one. Exchange students coming just for one specific degree program and taking courses from just that area. They generally mix and match from different areas. So if you can tell me exactly what you want to know about that program, because it's like, it really depends on the courses you want to take. I'm happy to share the list of courses and you can check out the syllabi. And then I can, you know, if you need to reach out to professors to know more about what their courses entail or imply, or, you know, extra information about the syllabi or the content, I can do that. If I have to talk about in general, I would need to like probably share this question to the recruitment office and they talk about the program in general as a thing, but you're not coming for the entire program. You're coming for just some courses. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that makes sense. I just wanted to know the general view of the program because I've never reviewed or seen a syllabi related to creative writing that mentioned the word industry. So I was curious about that. And I wanted to know the perspective of the program, whether it was more in the creative side or it was more in the entrepreneurial side, because I'm more interested in the creative side. So that's what I wanted to review and check.
Okay, why don't we can I follow up with you on that and share with you? I can either reach out to the academic coordinator of the program and get their words on that, or I can start sharing all the syllabi with you on of the program, so you can actually see how the program is structured in general. Would that help?
Well, yes, I'd prefer to read the syllabi.
That's fine. I'm happy to share it. Yeah, of course, on the website. So we have, I'd be happy to share the website afterwards, where I'm sure Yanitza and Lori has the website. On the website, under the international curriculum, you just click on the name of the course and it opens up and you have access to the syllabus. For the other, it's slightly longer as a procedure, but it's not impossible, honestly. You just need to check on the ECDS guide. But I'd be happy to guide you through the process. Maybe I can share, the process with Yanitza, and then she can share it with you. I'm happy to do that as well. I mean, either way.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you both for the question and for the extra help, Margarita.
Of course.
We also have another hand. We have Juanska.
Yes, thank you. So I do have a couple questions. So what is the date, or how long is the program? Is it a full semester, or is it a couple weeks? In order or does it depend on the classes we choose?
So it can be a semester or an academic year. Our calendar is September, depending on the courses, because you might have different calendars, but let's say for international students, we can say it's September, December, and then February, May, unless you take specific courses that are offered under the School of Business undergrad. But there are just few exceptions. So let's say September, December, February, May in general, the calendar. And then each course, it really depends again on which courses we're discussing. The international curriculum courses follow a very specific and clear pattern. So every course is offered twice a week, 3 hours total. For the courses belonging to the university academic curriculum, it really depends on how many credits they bear. So if it's an annual course kind of crammed into a semester, you have courses I don't want to say every day, but almost. If you're taking a semester course, then it's going to be different. If you're taking a quarter term, then it's different. So it really depends. The schedule will depend on the courses you decide to take and how many courses and what type of courses you decide to take.
Okay, so for example, let's say that I wanted to go there, for example, next year. So it will be from February, for a whole semester. So it will be for February to May or June. So that will be the length of the time I will be there and the length of the course.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and then where can I see a list of courses, and how do I know that they're specifically English and for international students?
Okay, so my suggestion is always to start with the online brochure where all the English courses are listed. We have 4 pages of English courses listed there. And then to see the syllabi, then you need to check the website. I'm happy, I don't know if Yanitza and Lori agree on that, but I'm happy to follow up with you all with some information if you want to leave your email address, or of course, no pressure, but if you want to leave your email address, I'm happy to follow up with all the information, where to find the courses, where to find the syllabi, the calendar and the dates. And then of course, when it comes to the application process, you need to talk to your office first. So you need to talk to Yanitza and Lori first, and then see, because you have to go through selection process, and then they will nominate you to us in September for the spring semester, and let's say in February, March for the full semester.
Margarita, if I can jump in here, I want everybody to check in the chat, y lo voy a cambiar al español. En el chat ya pueden ver 2 enlaces. Un enlace es directo a los cursos del International Curriculum. Estos cursos son ofrecidos completamente en inglés, son de 3 créditos cada uno, se reúnen 2 veces cada semana, como mencionó Margarita. También ahí hay enlaces al Academic Curriculum, que es este University Curriculum de integración con estudiantes italianos, donde van a estar en cursos de diferentes cantidades de horas cada semana, donde el examen es oral y hay menos tareas y más expectativas de trabajo independiente. Así que también pueden explorar eso usando el enlace que está ahí, pero primariamente este enlace te lleva a la información de los cursos en inglés del International Curriculum. Adicionalmente, verán más arriba un enlace al Program Brochure que hemos creado en cooperación con esta universidad para ustedes, que incluye información de fechas del semestre, los enlaces para ver los cursos, detalles sobre las diferentes opciones de tipo de programa de cursos, información de alojamiento, el buddy program y las actividades que programan. Todo eso está en ese mismo brochure, organizado para ustedes, estudiantes de ese grado exclusivamente. Ahí pueden revisar todo en detalle, crear una cuenta para ver otros programas que existen también y recibir contestaciones a algunas de esas dudas. También quiero aclarar que vamos a compartir con Margarita, si están de acuerdo, la lista de registro de este evento, y Margarita puede pasar toda esta información que está describiendo a ustedes por email. Entonces, tenemos varias maneras de obtener esta información y no se preocupen si no pueden anotar todo ahora mismo en este momento.
Gracias, Lori. Me gustaría añadir que es importante que si tienen la oportunidad se registren a vía TRM, porque ahí tienen la oportunidad no solamente de conocer de este programa, más adelante les voy a mostrar un poco más, pero es una herramienta en la que toda la información que está puesta ha sido escrita tanto por las asesoras en colaboración con las universidades. Así que toda esa información es específica para ustedes, así que se pueden beneficiar. Todas estas preguntas quizás las encuentran answered there. So, no sé si Juanska, ¿tienes alguna pregunta adicional?
No, creo que ya me contestaron con eso. Voy a estar pendiente a los links, pero una pregunta, porque es que yo ya estoy emocionada. ¿Cómo se empieza el proceso y cuáles son, like, the steps by steps for us to, like, be considered and accepted to go into there?
Yo creo que yo ahí puedo step in así que me has dado el mejor pie forzado para la pequeña presentación que les voy a mostrar, que es de unos 2 segundos, y vamos a tocar un poco de estos temas que les interesan. Comenzando con la plataforma vía TRM. Esto es un poco como luce la plataforma. Cada uno de estos son los programas que tenemos disponibles de nuestras universidades aliadas. Ustedes van a tener la oportunidad de entrar a cada uno de ellos y ver información sobre cada programa, sobre housing, sobre algunos costos de vida. Pueden entrar a ver los cursos, concentraciones, todo eso está puesto en estas páginas, excursiones. Toda la información está contenida aquí, así que les invito a que tan pronto terminemos esta presentación, lo había puesto el enlace en el chat, pero también se los voy a enviar cuando les envíe la grabación de esta charla para que ustedes se registren y comiencen a tener información sobre los programas. El próximo paso para comenzar esta aventura, si ya les convencimos en el día de hoy y quieren tener una experiencia en el extranjero, es asistir a una de nuestras charlas los miércoles a las 11 de la mañana. Así que en el día de mañana a las 11 les esperamos para conocer todo lo que deben saber de estudios en el extranjero. Esta es la base sobre comenzar a explorar programas, algunas de las ayudas económicas, cómo es el proceso desde el inicio al fin, cuáles son las ayudas que nosotros ofrecemos. Así que les invito a que si tienen oportunidad se registren, van a recibir esta presentación, van a ir aquí al enlace al logo de Zoom y les va a redirigir a su registro. Ahí pueden hacer todas sus preguntas iniciales y nosotros les vamos a dirigir hacia el próximo paso, que es coordinar una cita con la asesora. En este caso se van a reunir conmigo. Yo voy a estar ayudándoles a identificar esos intereses que ustedes tengan y empezar a parearlos con programas en el extranjero que les vayan a ayudar a cumplir con esas metas. Así que es importante que luego de participar en esa charla de los miércoles, coordinen su cita. La cita la hacemos de la misma forma que hacen con Sagrado Careers, con sus asesores académicos, pero si nunca han tenido la oportunidad de hacerlo, nosotros les vamos a compartir este video para que puedan ver un poco cómo es el proceso. Yo me encuentro bajo asesoría de estudios en el extranjero. Y además, si a ustedes les interesa conocer un poco sobre el factor económico, becas disponibles, qué puedo hacer para tener esta experiencia si quizás no tengo tanto dinero, pues también tenemos una charla informativa que es mensual, que es el segundo martes de cada mes a las 11 de la mañana, y ahí hablamos sobre todo este factor económico, cómo comenzar a investigar el costo de vida del país, entre otros. Así que sé que es de mucho valor para los estudiantes. Igualmente se pueden registrar presionando aquí el logo de Zoom y les va a redirigir hacia el registro. Y bueno, en la oficina podemos ayudarte a tener esta experiencia. Nosotros estamos mano a mano con ustedes durante todo el proceso. no solamente para identificar el programa, para hacer las convalidaciones de cursos, y una vez esté en el extranjero, si por ejemplo vamos a la Universidad Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, además de contar con el apoyo de nosotros, también cuentan con el apoyo, en este caso, de Margarita y de su equipo. Así que nosotros siempre, el estudiante no realiza esta experiencia sola, sino que lo hace con el apoyo de nosotros. Y bueno, el correo de nuestra oficina es muy sencillo, es internacional@sagrado.edu. Ahí también pueden dirigir sus preguntas. Así que nada, les quiero agradecer mucho porque me dieran este espacio para responder sus preguntas. Esperamos verlos también en la charla de mañana, pero me gustaría revisar si tenemos alguna duda adicional, que Margarita, que está aquí, la queremos aprovechar para hacerle todas nuestras preguntas. Siéntanse en confianza de hacerlo. Así que vamos a ver si tenemos otra pregunta. No sé, Cielo.
No, I just wanted to leave clear that since Margarita was so kind to share the links with us, that I will search the syllabi through there and get back to you in case I have any questions or am interested.
Perfect.
I will, no worries.
Thank you. So, any other question? No.
Janitza, yo tengo una pregunta, pero es contigo después que se acabe tu momento.
Perfecto, nos quedamos hasta el final y la respondemos. Así que no sé si Valeria, tenemos a Juanska, Valeria Vázquez,
Sí.
Ariana Marí. Sí.
Yo tengo duda, pues, no soy muy buena en el inglés, entonces tengo duda que los enlaces que ustedes enviaron son para toda esa información que lo puedo ver a través de los enlaces, para ver más información acerca de los internados, que diga, de los intercambios de clases.
Sí. Sí.
Ofrecen ayudas económicas y también alojamiento, cómo todo ese proceso. Me gustaría conocer un poquito más.
Sobre el costo de alojamiento, no sé si Margarita.
Sí, es que depende mucho depende mucho de dónde te vas a quedar. Milán puede ser una ciudad muy cara o muy económica, o sea, dependiendo de dónde decidas vivir. Y también si quieres como un departamento para ti sola o si quieres compartirlo con otros alumnos. Entonces, para serte súper sincera, las opciones que ofrece nuestro proveedor no son las más económicas, pero ya pues uno llega y todo lo tiene arreglado y no tiene que preocuparse de nada. Si prefiere como buscar por su propia cuenta, eso también es posible y tenemos varias opciones y varios enlaces que compartimos con los alumnos internacionales antes de que lleguen, y pueden ponerse a buscar. También tenemos un grupo de alumnos que pertenecen a un ISN, que es como Erasmus Student Network, que ayudan muchísimo a los alumnos internacionales a como buscar alojamiento. Tenemos alumnos que llegan sin un alojamiento fijo, o sea, que reservan las primeras 2 semanas y luego, bueno, se ponen a buscar la opción que más le convenga. Y eso también es una opción, depende mucho del tipo de alumno. O sea, la mayoría, por ejemplo, de los alumnos de Estados Unidos no quieren hacer eso porque tampoco las universidades los permiten. Los alumnos europeos llegan, se quedan y van buscando solos. Entonces también depende de qué tipo de persona eres tú, si tu institución te permite irte sin tener un alojamiento ya organizado. Y eso sería, creo, todo alrededor del alojamiento. A nivel de costos, yo diría, un cuarto compartido te puede salir como entre 350 a 400 euros, más o menos, al mes.
Sí, y ustedes también ofrecen las opciones de trabajo para estos estudiantes que somos extranjeros a estudiar a otros.
Bueno, tú vas a tener un visado de estudiante. Con ese tipo de visado puedes trabajar hasta 20 horas semanales. Ahora, eso sería, o sea, eso es lo que puedes hacer. Luego, si vas a encontrar efectivamente alguien que te dé trabajo para 3 meses oficialmente, eso no te lo puedo garantizar. Y tampoco como representante oficial de la universidad te puedo decir que vas a encontrar trabajo sin contrato, ¿verdad? No te lo puedo decir. Pero bueno, no sé, ya. Pero pues en la universidad no puedes trabajar. Es ilegal contratar alumnos. O sea, al contrario es exactamente lo contrario de Estados Unidos. O sea, no podemos contratar alumnos que estudian con nosotros. Por cuestiones de intereses individuales, no sé, como conflicto de interés, así lo definimos. Entonces no podemos contratar a los alumnos. Entonces no podrás trabajar en el campus. Que no puedas encontrar otro trabajo, eso no, o sea, lo puedes encontrar. Te tienes que, o sea, también depende si hablas italiano o no, qué tipo de trabajo buscas, si quieres un trabajo tipo, qué sé yo, de mesera. Yo, por ejemplo, en Australia trabajaba de mesera, o si quieres trabajar en una, qué sé yo, en una empresa, ese es ya otro tipo de trabajo. Pero hay forma de como de make some money.
Me gustaría también hacer una aclaración, y es que, por ejemplo, este programa que es en Italia, como los cursos son en inglés, es importante también que el estudiante tenga un nivel bastante avanzado del idioma, porque no queremos que además de algunos choques culturales que puedan experimentar, pues tengan problemas con el idioma. Así que es importante que si ustedes consideran que el inglés no se sienten tan cómodos expresándose en el idioma o quizás tomando sus cursos, que conozcan que también tenemos una gran variedad de programas en Latinoamérica, también tenemos en Europa, en el que ustedes pueden estar tomando sus cursos en español. Así que si el idioma es algo que ustedes consideran que ustedes se sienten más cómodos en el español, recuerden que también pasamos por unos procesos para evaluar el idioma, porque nosotros también enviamos estudiantes para que se sientan cómodos en el idioma. Pero si ustedes consideran que se sienten más cómodos en el español, tenemos una gran variedad de programas que también pueden encontrar en nuestra plataforma vía TRM para que ustedes puedan elegirlo. Así que quería hacer esa aclaración, que aquí estaremos tomando cursos principalmente en inglés, y si tenemos el dominio quizás de B1 en italiano, también podríamos tomar cursos en italiano de poseer el nivel. Así que quiero dejar el espacio si hay alguna pregunta adicional. Ya se nos está acabando el tiempo. Bueno, ya se nos acabó. Si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta adicional que quisieran hacernos, les agradecería también que tienen nuestro correo internacional@sagrado.edu. También podemos coordinar una orientación individualizada para responder a cualquier pregunta que puedan tener de este programa, y nosotros también podemos contactar a Margarita para preguntarle. Así que muchísimas gracias a todas y todos por estar con nosotros en la mañana de hoy. Esto también vamos a tenerlo en nuestro canal de YouTube para que ustedes puedan, si llegaron más tarde, puedan tener la oportunidad de verlo completamente. Y les queremos agradecer a Margarita por aceptar nuestra invitación, por estar con nosotros en la mañana de hoy, que para ellos es la tarde, y que definitivamente estamos muy emocionados con este programa, que es nuestro aliado, que nuestros estudiantes pueden ir cuando deseen, y que sabemos que van a estar sumamente apoyados en su experiencia en Italia, específicamente en Milán. Así que muchísimas gracias, Margarita.
No, gracias a todos ustedes por estar aquí conmigo, pues por permitir esa sesión, y pues gracias. Entonces, que tengan un bonito día, y cualquier cosa pues me pueden mandar. Les comparto mi correo acá. Bueno, ya estarán recibiendo un correo mío, pero igual pues aquí lo tienen, y pues ya.
Muchas